Welcome to Bizart, the podcast of the odd, the art and the rest. I'm Madeleine Swan. I write weird and strange stories. This is Stephen Waring.
Hello.
You can find his weird arty brain at lofiguy.com. If you have any questions or queries, or you just want to say hello, email bizartcast@gmail.com.
That's all right then.
Never known a person to faff or stress. It's almost, is that your impression of me? Complaining?
Of course it is. What do you think it was?
Oh. Very sweet of you.
I like doing parodies.
Yeah. Your sharp wit is second to none.
Sharp wit. That's obviously what you thought of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So like, yes. Okay. Right. So.
Yes.
How are we going to start this podcast, Maddie?
Well, I thought that we could talk about the importance of doing at least one creative thing for fun, because I've been trying to find a creative thing that I do just because I enjoy it. I write obviously to sell myself. I write for money and for publishers and so on, but it's really important to have something, I think, that's just you sort of exploding, you know, doing what you want to do. And I've been sort of thinking, well, should I have a blog where I just write as a character? And I've sort of tried that, and I might carry on with that, but it just seems, I don't know, like it seems a lot of effort. When you write for money, writing for fun becomes sort of less of an option, I suppose. That sounds really like miserly, but it's true. You kind of think, oh, that would be fun, and then you don't get round to it and don't get round to it.
Yeah, well, you're probably using your creativity in areas where, say, a book might be published and you'll get a little bit of royalties back. Mm-hmm. And you're putting so much into that, making it as good as it can be, that when it comes to writing something just for you,
I'd rather just do something else.
You've probably not got the energy,
the brain energy.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be as good.
Yes,
you've got to.
So I've tried to do that, and also some friends of mine and I tried to do a podcast, which was like a kind of like The Archers but disturbing, and it is really fun and I really enjoyed it, but we got 2 episodes in before the amount of editing and the amount of work that it takes just to put it together just kind of eclipsed the joy of doing it completely. So I think something as simple as you and I have decided to do a YouTube channel. It's called Dada Kitten.
Dada Kitten.
And it's coming soon, and we've just decided to do various videos for a jolly old time.
Yeah, it's kind of like we used to do years ago, but I think we're probably even more out there than we were then. I think we were a little bit more self-censoring in a way. I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know if it's because we were kind of with another friend who is a lot more normal, and it was a sort of a weird mix. So I think the pair of us, like, without having to worry about, oh, is it going to be funny? Because we used to sort of try and make them funny, but now I think if it is funny, then it just comes out of it, whereas that's not our main focus. You
never produce anything good if you're trying to appeal, basically.
Exactly. So if it's not funny, it doesn't matter, because we just want to do what comes out of our brain heads.
Our brain heads.
Yeah, and I think it's important to do. Like, it's important to just have a journal as well, to perhaps if you're a writer, it's important to just have a journal that you write for yourself, and it's important to have a creative project that's just like, it's not an idea that you can ever see going anywhere, but you would like to do something with it. So you just do a fun thing with it, you know? It's where they can go, those little ideas.
Yeah, if you're not having fun either,
Yeah.
it's not going to be good, is it? It's very hard to produce something decent if you're not enjoying yourself.
Yeah, and the more creative stuff you do, the more you want to do, I think. That's like in a documentary I saw about a lady who was in porn. She said that someone once asked her, how do you manage to do it so often and that? And she said, well, the more you do something, the more you want to do it. So when you're in porn and you do it all the time, like have sex all the time, you actually find yourself wanting to have sex even more than you would normally. Like, that's just how it works. So I guess it's the same thing for creative stuff.
I like that parallel.
Yeah. The more you do, the more you want to.
Yeah, that applies to most things.
Yeah. So it will give you ideas for the actual money stuff. If you're doing fun things as well.
Yes, for the money shots.
Yes, money shots all round.
So, and I've come to the conclusion. We had a big kind of discussion over the. Sorry, it's that tea's made me really, really hot actually.
Oh dear.
Baking now,
Do you
but
want me to slap you around the face like a 1940s noir film?
how's that going to cool me down?
Well, it will wake you up. I thought it
Oh,
might
wake
help.
me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had an artistic discussion, didn't we, on the telephone the other day
Yes.
with Bill.
Yes, we did. It was very good. Yeah.
Regarding how this is going to go forward with the YouTube channel, and we want it to be. It's got to be out there. We were wondering about whether we should include videos that we've already made, but I kind of didn't think they would work.
I don't think they fit.
No.
Yeah.
They're not kind of surreal enough. So.
No, I think going forward, it just needs to be, well, with a name like Dada Kitten, it kind of speaks for itself, I think.
Big time. So yeah, that was interesting, and I kind of with my painting, I've kind of been producing some sort of art that I kind of wanted something that to like Rothko kind
Yes.
of that kind of vibe, but I found that it wasn't particularly me. I kind of want to do something deeper, meaningful, and something almost transcendental, and kind of works on a different plane of being. But I also want to have fun, and I wasn't having fun.
We spoke about this before, where you actually really like art that's mischievous and has a sense of humour. Whereas I wasn't seeing that in the art that you were doing lately. I like it, it's good, obviously, you're good, but it's a very sort of dark and broody version of you, whereas you're more silly and fun, and that's what you enjoy, I think.
Yeah, a little bit more kind of subversive and playful, and a bit naughty.
Indeed.
A bit naughty.
Like a Carry-On film.
Oh, my mum was watching a Carry On film the other day when I walked around there. It was like, I walked into the front room and I was like, all these kind of.
You know what's a Carry-On film from a mile away. You can hear You can hear their voices it doesn't matter where you are in the house, you know when someone's watching a Carry-On film. It's just ridiculous. Oh God, I tried to watch this film not long ago because I'm obsessed with the 1920s, and I of course love silent films, but I'm always looking for other films that are set in the 20s as well, and I found this one from the late 60s, I think. And it had Twiggy in it, which I can kind of see that she looks like a silent film actress kind of thing, like when she was younger, obviously. Like all skinny and big eyes and that.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. But it also had, name?
Barbara Windsor.
Barbara Windsor.
Oh, no.
I don't know what. And it was really annoying, and it was just the same thing. Like, I fell over and my boobs.
What's he making a career off that?
Well, you know.
Good luck to her, I suppose. Yeah.
I've got no. I don't think anyone should not do a thing, but I can say that it's not my bag. You know, Barbara Windsor's career isn't particularly my bag. But you know.
Hey, what happened? And
Yeah.
is that in Best in Show?
I think it might be Best in Show.
Wait, what happened? I've got a real red wagon. I've got a real red wagon. I can't say it. It's very difficult to say, actually.
The guy in Best in Show and Rob Reiner things. No, not Rob Reiner. He did.
He was in Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, that's it.
The airport.
Yeah.
I was going to say RAF. It's not RAF.
No.
The Air Force guy.
But it's the stuff with it was like Christopher Guest and that.
And he comes on and he does like 2 minutes, and he's just brilliant, isn't he? He just improvises stuff, and he's
comes
brilliant.
out with things. And
what's his name?
I can't remember. Has he ever done anything else, or does he just do stuff?
He must do stage or something.
Yeah.
He must be.
I reckon he must be like an improv person, because it's obviously natural.
He's so quick, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's so funny, like a constant stream of funny. Must
I
be
wish
like,
I could be funny.
It's like you are funny, but like Peter Cook or something.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
But obviously he was more satirical and kind of like
absurdist, definitely very absurdist.
Yeah, and actually a bit. He could actually be quite nasty. Always a bit
definitely
dark,
very.
Whereas that guy we're talking about is kind of
silly,
just silly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I saw something with Monty Python, because he did something with Monty Python at one point, Peter Cook, that is, and I think it was Michael Palin, was saying that he would find out what it was that made you laugh, and then he would keep doing it until everyone else was just helpless, and it was like a power thing that he had, where he. But it was very funny. It made everyone laugh that was watching it, because
kind of
watching people crack up is always funny.
It was like comedy bullying in a way.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
some of the stuff with him.
All the time.
I mean, I think it might be the last one they recorded. The last Derek and Clive they recorded together.
Yeah.
He just comes across as like a complete arsehole throughout the whole thing. He's
like the DVD thing. Oh, well, that's really dark. That's I think
the one that they filmed.
The DVD one, where they filmed it. Yeah, that's pretty harsh.
I think he's quite bitter because Dudley Moore was actually a big star at that point.
Yeah, and Peter Cook was
his career was kind of like it kind of gone away a bit.
Yeah, he was an alcoholic by that point, I think.
Yeah.
You can see him sort of chugging away on the.
Oh yeah. They're drinking whiskey or something, aren't they?
Yes. Fascinating. Yeah, Bill's got all the Derek and Clive on audio. Every now and then he'll stick, and the Chris Morris stuff that he did with Chris Morris as well.
Oh where he's like the retired
genius
colonel guy. He used to phone like radio talk-ins in the middle of the night, didn't he?
Yeah.
Phone-in shows and
pretend to be like a Swedish guy and all different things. Yeah. I can't remember the name of the character that he did with Chris Morris, but it was like an interview with a really old.
Yeah, like a colonel or something. Yeah.
But it's just absurdist nonsense, and it's really good. Speaking of absurdist comedy, if you haven't watched the Armando Iannucci shows,
oh yeah, that's good.
Oh my god, it's amazing. It's brilliant. Like it's seriously brilliant. Like I watch it and it's gave me loads of ideas for things.
It's very sort of playful, isn't it? And you know.
But it comes from a place where, like, there's this scene where everyone sat down for a meal, and it's a kind of a dinner party thing where it's a bunch of friends, and one person looks in his pie and there's nothing there, and then another one, the one who everyone loves and is always coming out with stuff, he's getting things to say from his food, from in his food. And so it's kind of like goes back to that thing that I've always said to you and that you've agreed with, that I often feel like everyone else has had lessons in life and things that I never had. I always feel like I've missed lessons in things, you know, like other people seem to know what they're doing a lot more.
Most people feel like that to a degree, but some people
really do,
kind of narcissists probably don't feel that way, but I think most of the general population
it's a general thing, yeah. And then he freaks out because everyone's appreciating this guy and he's kind of getting what he's saying from something else, and then he goes to the mechanics and he realises that they're just saying, like, they sound clever because they're just reading something that's underneath the car, and everyone's doing it except Armando Iannucci. And
brilliant. That's kind of like Woody Allen. It's like some Woody Allen concept, isn't it?
Yes.
From a good Woody Allen film.
Well, see, that's another thing. Like, I really like his conceptual stuff, but for every really good film he'll do that ends up being one of my favourite films, he'll do like 10 crap ones, and I just think, Woody, calm down. Like, you don't have to do so many.
Yeah.
Just do one every like few years. Just chill out. Because his, like, films of his that are good are like conceptually exciting, funny, and great. But he'll do loads of just flat ones where it's like, well, it's all right, but you know.
Yeah, I did see him in an interview. I think they were actually interviewing him about his jazz band, because he's a big jazz fan and sort of like part-time musician or whatever. And he was talking about how sad it is, like the kind of the way that we live, you know, we have like consciousness, and we know about life and death, and we can understand all these things, and how cruel it is to have that kind of imposed on us. It's kind of like a big joke. He was basically saying that, and I was thinking, well, he obviously thinks about that a lot, and maybe that's why his output is so vast, because he just wants to do as much as he can before he dies.
I definitely get the impression that he has existential crisis an awful lot.
Well, that's what, a lot of his, especially a lot of his early work was about.
Yeah, but if you look at, like, I don't know, like, I love Midnight in Paris, and the 70s stuff like Annie Hall is just, well, I mean, that's just brilliant, but I like the fact that it's never really set in realism. Like, it's never quite realism. There's always like some magical realism twist to it, or like some other thing. But it's just a shame that you have to sort of cherry pick your favourites amongst all this load of, like, just calm down, Woody.
Yeah, I think there's a few artists like that, really. Neil Young's a bit like that. With he seems to produce an album every few months, you know, and you think, I wonder if he should just, you know, do 3 albums worth of material, and then just do a best of, and piece it together. I think that's quite a common, you know, if you're a creative person, it's hard to critique yourself as well.
Yeah.
We have that problem too. I think sometimes we need to ask a friend to... getting other people to... Well, like an editor, if you're a writer, and that is, you know, you need it. If you don't have an editor, then it's probably not going to be very good, you know. Yeah, and that's why a lot of kind of your famous musicians and filmmakers, that they end up just surrounding themselves with yes men, and don't really have anyone there to tell them where they're going wrong. You've got to be grounded, and you've got to have... It's good to move in a circle of friends that, you know, tell you when you're being a complete idiot.
Yes.
That's...
Like Elvis.
Oh, Elvis was a prime example. I mean, he was just surrounded by...
people who just agreed.
Yeah, agreed for him, because he was a very generous person, and used to give a brand new Cadillac, I suppose being one of the first mega stars like that, the most famous person on the planet almost. I suppose you don't really. No one's ever taught you how to live with it and behave, and because there's no one else.
Really come before, yeah.
You know, they're obviously stars, but you know, mega star. Like the mega star, it seems to be a more recent thing.
Yeah.
Kind of maybe in the last. I suppose like Chaplin was probably one of the first mega
Well,
stars.
yeah. I mean, like the silent film stars. I mean, obviously, like with writers in that, they could be sort of quite famous before. But silent film stars were probably the first ones that could, because film reels were sent like on tours, like around everywhere, so you could see the same person acting the same thing anywhere for the first time. You know, whereas before you'd have to, if you were a stage actor, you had to physically go on tour. So people like Mary Pickford and Rudolph Valentino and things like that, they were probably the first ones to be such mega stars.
They were
everywhere.
huge, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose with music, there would have been a few, but none to the degree, say, of Elvis. You would have had. I don't know. My brain's fried today.
It's very hot. Neither of us are very good in the heat.
No, we much prefer kind of autumn is our kind of favourite season, isn't it?
We're kind of like squirrels or something, but with the opposite way around.
Yeah, we sort of come to life in autumn and winter.
In winter, winter squirrels.
Yeah, big time. That's exactly what we are.
Well, I did a big. Well, I say big. It was not big, it was small. But I did a book reading in the Big Green bookshop.
Tell us about your book reading, Maddie.
Well, I think I talked about the Brighton Fringe one before, so it's not going to be majorly different.
What about that dashing young cameraman?
You mean you? My assistant.
Well, I don't like to, you know.
My assistant, yes. No, you were very helpful. We filmed a little video in the day where we just did a fun thing where we followed a book called A Curious Guide to London, and it had different areas of London and different sort of offbeat historical things. Like we went to the Silver Mousetrap Jewellers, which is where the aristocracy, the women used to buy mousetraps for their hair, because in the Georgian period they created massive bouffants, and they didn't have like very good pest control yet, so they would place these silver mousetraps around our hair while they slept to fend off any nibbling rodents. And we went there, and the guy was in, and we actually got a miniature interview with him, so that was quite interesting.
Yeah, you can check that out on Maddie's channel, Madeleine Swan Writer, YouTube. I don't know what your handle is on there.
It's just Madeleine Swan YouTube channel, it's on there, A Curious Guide to London.
You might want to send them a link. Did you send them a link to it saying, oh, here's the...
the jewellers?
Yeah.
No, I didn't send it to the jewellers. I sent the book reading to the other writers that were there that also read, and that was Laura Lee Barr and Chris Meekings, who is a fellow UK writer. Laura Lee Barr's an American lady, and we all write weird stuff.
Bunch of bloody weirdos and freaks. A lot of you.
It's true. It's true. Yes, we all did a reading. It was fun. I was quite scared, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you were very good. It was a jolly fun time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. Writing for me always used to be, and it still is, but it always used to be a thing where I hid in a room, I did it, I sent it to people, but I never actually saw those people because they were on the other end of a computer, and they either liked it or they didn't, and it never sort of got beyond emails of yes, we like it, we'll publish it, or no, go away, you know. Whereas now it's kind of like I'm having to go places and do things and speak to people outside and it's a whole different kettle of fish.
I think it's probably there's a lot of satisfaction in that, really, meeting like-minded people and putting a face to your work. I think that's...
I mean, there is that. I mean, obviously I do like it, and I do like meeting people and getting out there and so on. I mean, I have got social anxiety, like it is terrifying to me, but I'm still doing it. But my mum's a hypnotherapist and she taught me techniques, so I just bring them to mind. But
like Batman.
Yeah. Has Batman got hypnotic techniques?
Like, the first Chris Nolan Batman film where he's like in Nepal or something, and he learns all these.
What, karate chopping? That look
yeah,
like?
yeah, he learns all these martial arts and that. So that's basically you, but in
hypnotherapy.
In the living room at your mum's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of going outside and doing all these things that I hadn't previously done. I mean, like a major part of my brain would always rather be indoors watching telly or something, or if I am writing, then just staying.
It is a solitary life, and to actually get out there and all that, it's
like a culture shock.
It is a culture shock, but it's a nice one.
Yeah.
It's beneficial.
It's beneficial, yeah. I mean,
good for the health.
There's stuff I enjoy about it, but I always enjoy getting home as well.
Well, I enjoyed when we were at the gallery when me and Bill were doing the sit-in at the gallery, speaking to people as they came in. I mean, that was good. The only thing that I don't like doing is handling money. I'm always worried about messing things up, so I'm always a bit anxious about that. But actually sitting there and getting feedback for your work is quite grounding. It's kind of what's required.
Yeah, there's that as well, because you're getting sort of immediate feedback, aren't you? And people either seem interested in what you're doing or they're not very interested, and you think, oh, I should maybe like work on something here. But yeah, I mean, you always did boot sales and that, so you had to handle money in there. So
it's kind of it's different if it's your own money. You don't mind messing up if it's your own money, but
that's
actually,
true.
Messing up for some other artist doesn't get paid because take a tenner instead of £100 or something.
Yes.
So hey, but speaking of which, I've bought a record collection recently off my friend's father. Passed away years ago, and I've been gradually selling his record collection. He was a DJ on the radio. I've gradually been selling off the collection for him.
Steve's nickname is Steptoe Wearing.
Yeah, basically Steptoe. Not really like Del Boy, more like
no, not Del Boy. Steptoe, definitely.
Yeah,
if you're American, that's Sanford. Is it Sanford?
Sanford and Sons?
Yeah, that was the American one.
Yeah, that's me.
But the UK one is Stepford.
So in the end, I was taking ages to get rid of this collection for him because I wasn't making a great deal, and I had other stuff to do. So I basically said to him, I'll give you X amount of money and I'll take it all off your hands. So I did that recently. But I keep finding these notes which Kevin's father had written down for his radio timings. So at this point come in with Blondie, and at this point come in with, so there's all these little...
God, it was quite...
little trinkets.
Eerie and endearing.
It is, yeah, and it's quite interesting to see what he played, and I keep discovering things in this collection. There was like some live show that Eno and Nico from Velvet Underground,
alright,
and John Cale from the Velvet Underground, and Kevin Ayers, who was in Soft Machine, and a couple of other musicians all doing this gig. One side, which is the Kevin Ayers side, is really boring. I'm sorry if you're a Kevin Ayers fan, but I just couldn't. But the other side is really good.
I'll have to
It's
listen
got
to that.
Nico doing a cover of The End by The Doors.
Oh.
Can you imagine that? It's like, this is the end.
I've seen a stage clip of her doing it live when she'd had the brown hair.
Well, that might be the same gig.
It might be, yeah.
And it's got Eno doing sort of "Baby's on Fire" and all that stuff. So like one side is like, "Whoa, this is really money." I never put the two and two together actually, but John Cale kind of sounds exactly on the track that he does on this album. Sounds exactly like Nick Cave. I reckon Nick Cave is a massive fan of John Cale.
Could be, yeah.
And his voice, there's definitely a connection there, yeah. So you kind of learn these things, you know, when you pick up new music and you're trying things and you're listening to things that you wouldn't necessarily heard of it any other way unless you mistakenly came across it on YouTube via some other videos. So it's great for that, and it's like I'm stepping into a little time machine of music. Some things I can't stand, and some things I think, oh yeah, I actually really like that. I was just saying to Maddie, Peter Gabriel, Games Without Frontiers, I always liked that song when I was a kid because I found it quite funny. But it's actually a really good tune, and there's a couple of Peter Gabriel albums in his collection and all sorts of other bits. And a Genesis album that I actually quite like, Don't Laugh. When Peter Gabriel was lead singer of Genesis.
That's different, they were very different.
They were more prog, basically. Some of it was a bit, if it starts to sound too much like Yes,
well,
then I'm not that interested. But
prog rock, some of I'll admit there's some of it I love because there's so much memory attached. Because my dad was a big prog rock, is a big prog rock fan.
But when you were small,
a lot of it is very attached to memory. So there's like quite a lot of the prog side of Pink Floyd because I still really like Sid Barrett. Sid Barrett was great. But there's some of the prog stuff that I do actually quite like just because it's like childhood memories.
Oh, well, there's good prog and bad prog, I think. You know,
like with anything really.
Like with any genre.
But some of it just really goes off on the deep end of itself, and it's almost like it's eating itself. It's just going on and on and on.
Yeah, Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Yes, and bands like that. I just can't listen to it. I just, it's just too self-absorbed and trying to be too clever, Pink Floyd Animals is a really, really good album.
Yeah, see, that's another one I'm not that keen on because to me
there's a rock out at the end.
Yeah.
There is a rock out at the end that is really stupid.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's really good.
There's one that I do still like. Like bits of it are annoying, but I think it's the one right after Sid left that I still like. With Cymbeline and that on it. What's that one? I can't remember.
Yeah, The Saucer Full of Secrets, which was the one that I think he was only on like one track.
Where he's like, it sounds really paranoid.
Yeah, awfully considerate of you.
Yeah.
Me here. You'll talk about the one after that.
I think I am.
Which was.
I think it's got. Have you seen that film? Do you remember that film More? I think they play it on that loads. If it's the same one, I'm not sure. But that film More, in 1969, where it's hippies, but they've got that heroin problem.
Yeah.
In Spain.
Oh, that was a good film.
It is a good film. I've got that.
It's like the come down from the 60s.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's like they've had a very nice time being hippies, and they're left with this really bad, like drug addiction.
It's like that's kind of like a little hidden gem of a movie.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Because I'd not heard of it. It's only because I looked up psychedelic films.
What was the really good one which I'd never heard of that you showed me? One. Oh, no.
What happens in it?
It's a job to say, really. The one which has got Helen Mirren in it when she's really young.
Herostratus.
Yeah, Herostratus.
I love that film. It's the same.
Is so good.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, that's a British one. Yeah, because the director, I think, was quite sadistic and got these performances out of the actors by its improvisation, but it was a real involved process, and I think they were all near to exhaustion by the end of it. But it's really bits of it are really if you've ever seen an animation called Monkey Dust, you can see where it kind of comes from there, the real cynical of advertising kind of thing. And it was the late 60s, so it was not such a well-worn territory as it is now. It's oh, advertising is cynical. I get, everyone knows that now, but it a lot of it was quite new in that film. But Herostratus, yes. I recommend that one.
The main actor, he's
in The Devils.
The Devils.
Yeah.
The guy who just comes into the movie with
Shades.
crazy 1960s shades.
Yeah.
And this kind of works because the character is just.
He seems to have turned up, done a few really cool films.
Yeah, and then disappeared. Who is he? Did he go on to direct? Or?
I don't know. I tried to find out. I think I don't remember. I think I found out, but he didn't do that much acting. He just did. He did that. He did The Devils, and he did another hippie film where everyone dies at the end.
Yeah, you have to look up Herostratus. Maybe you could check out his other movies.
That had a Pink Floyd soundtrack as well. The Clout.
I've seen Zabriskie Point.
No,
that's got a Pink Floyd soundtrack.
Yeah. I think everything did at one point in the 60s.
I like the kind of prog anthemic kind of prog that they did then, when they sort of what are we going to do now? Our lead singer's gone and we've got to turn a different direction, and they just kind of went more soundscapey.
Yes. And a short film they did the soundtrack for as well, The Committee, which is kind of magical realist, where a guy's going to a meeting and he cuts someone's head off and then he sews it back on and then carries on to the meeting. That was quite good.
Wow. I've got so much to see. That they were supposed to do part of the soundtrack for Jodorowsky's Dune, weren't they?
Were they? I'm not surprised.
Can you imagine what that would have been like?
That would have been... God, can you imagine that film? That film would have been insane.
Epic. That would have been... Because they're making Dune now. The same director who made Arrival. He's directed the new Blade Runner film, and he's also going to direct Dune. I think it might be in pre-production now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's Jodorowsky's still alive. Why can't he make it?
Yeah. To be honest, he probably doesn't want to. I don't know. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine that. I don't know. He probably got fed up of.
It's very difficult making a film, isn't it? I mean, David Lynch's Dune. He wasn't allowed to do what he wanted with it.
That was
I mean, it was relatively good, I thought, but
I'm not a fan. There's too much voiceover, you don't get to experience anything firsthand, I don't think, because everyone's telling you.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they make the new one in 3 parts or something, or if it's 6 hours long.
Yeah,
you can probably actually get away with that sort of thing a bit more now than...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Like Harry Potter.
Yeah, if you can convince a group of businessmen and it's sitting around a table at some
that's it,
that it's actually going to make a big profit, then you can get away with anything, like Peter Jackson with the Hobbit films. And
I still haven't watched all the Hobbit.
Don't bother.
No, I'm not going to.
The first one is probably the best one.
I did like Lord of the Rings, but no, Hobbit.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings films were decent, but
the
Hobbit ones were just so drawn out.
Naff, pointless.
The third one's so boring.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's just like battle scenes and fighting scenes.
Because I remember Mr. Tanner, the primary school teacher that we both had, read The Hobbit to us in class, and it was just this one book. So I don't know how they were thinking of stretching it out to 3 3-hour films, It's just one book.
I think the studio probably said, well, Peter Jackson's like gold dust, you know, he made the other three work, so, you know, let's just give him everything he needs and more. And he probably is like the opposite. He needed reining in, really.
I remember when we first found out that Peter Jackson was doing Lord of the Rings, and we were like, bad taste, brain dead, Lord of the Rings, that's pretty weird. But yeah,
he hasn't. I don't think he's done a lot since, really.
I don't think he's had time. They're pretty epic.
Yeah. The Kong film, not great.
Oh, did he do that as well?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if he's. I don't think he's in that, but it just reminded me. Have you seen that clip of Andy Serkis reading out Donald Trump's tweets as Gollum?
I think I saw something about that, and I was going to watch it, and then I didn't. Maybe you sent it to me.
It's very funny. Oh, I think I WhatsApped it to you. If you haven't seen that, watch it.
Probably makes Gollum look pretty sane, I would have thought. A lot of it. It's like...
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how he gets away with it, actually, Trump, because he'd get away with saying things that anyone else, they'd be like, you know, impeach him now!
Well, I mean, people are saying that, but it's not happening. But we'll see how this whole Russian thing
suppose if you do it all the
out.
time,
it
carries people. It just sort of like goes over the top of people's heads. But if you say terrible things now and again, it's going to get noticed, or it's going to stand out more. I don't know. It's weird.
I think timing is the thing with things as well. Like I remember certain things where something bad that will have been happening for ages, suddenly it just snowballs, and people like say, "Oh, hang on a minute, that's really bad," and everyone sort of like gets involved and stops it. Whereas it's often something that's been happening for quite a long time. Like it just sort of picks up speed, like the animal safari thing. Not they weren't safari things, but they were people going on holiday to shoot tame creatures
like
that were
Trump's son.
Yeah, I mean that was going on for quite a long time before everyone suddenly went, hang on a minute, this is going on, that's not good. So I suppose timing is the thing.
And I think we've run out of steam now.
I think we have.
Very hot in here. Imagine when we get some proper lighting in. We've managed to extend our budget a bit and get some...
It'll be like a Peter Jackson movie.
We'll be worth be sitting here in...
effects.
It will be just like Return of the King. But basically we'll be sitting here in like Speedos and stuff and bikini, because it's be so hot. I don't know how people do it in like proper studios,
like, or actual hot countries.
Hot countries.
When
I went to Malaysia, I got off the plane and it was like, I
remember having that conversation with my friend. I won't say her name because it'll embarrass her, but she used to have a crush on a boy in our halls of residence, and we had a lot of the exchange students in our halls of residence. And it was this guy from Japan, and I just remember one of the things that he was saying, where there's a certain like time of the year where you just pretty much can't do anything. But she used to like make me hang around his halls because she wanted to talk to him.
Oh.
That was very sweet.
I was oblivious to things like that at uni.
I think he was as well. I honestly don't think he realised. Anyway, I think it happens a lot.
Oh, bless him.
Okay, right, we have run out of steam.
Yeah, so we'll see you next time.
Bye.